Sean "Spicy" Spicer has resigned as White House press secretary. In his resignation letter to President Trump, Spicer said, quote, "It has been a great honor to serve my country, but now you can take this crappy job and shove it," unquote. The resignation letter was tied to a rock and hurled through the window of the Oval Office, according to Jim Acosta of CNN, who was also tied to a rock and hurled through the window of the Oval Office, attached to a letter which read, "And you can take this crappy reporter and shove it too." Acosta complained about the incident, saying it should have been on camera so everyone could see him. Acosta said the fact that he was not on camera was a violation of Americans' First Amendment right to see Jim Acosta on camera. The Spicer resignation will have major ramifications on the behind-the-scenes power struggles at the White House, according to people who know nothing about the behind-the-scenes power struggles at the White House, namely Jim Acosta and his anonymous sources, who are also named Jim Acosta, by some strange coincidence. According to these sources, it was the appointment of businessman Anthony Scaramucci, also known as Anthony Scaramucci, that caused Spicer's face to turn scarlet while steam came out of his ears, making a high-pitched whistling noise that sounded like a tea kettle screaming Anthony Scaramucci. Anonymous sources named Jim Acosta also say that presidential aide and evil demon from the bowels of hell, Steve Bannon, complained about the tea kettle noise, which he said disturbed his thought processes while he was plotting the white supremacist overthrow of the government. This in turn disturbed Bannon's chief rival, Reince Priebus, who complained to the president that he wanted to plot the white supremacist overthrow of the government, which in turn caused Bannon to grab Priebus's nose between the knuckles of his first two fingers and twist it in a circle while Priebus flapped his arms in the air and said whoop, 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 nuck, nuck, yuck. The New York Times, a former newspaper, celebrated Spicer's resignation with an editorial which read, quote, "We hated Sean Spicer because he yelled at us when we lied, so he was yelling at us all the time, and it damaged our self-esteem. In future, we look forward to lying without getting yelled at, the way we used to do with Obama, who made our jobs much easier because we didn't have to make up our own lies, but could just report his," unquote. Spicer says he has already landed a new job as the chief bouncer at the Double Deuce House in Jasper, Missouri. CNN's Jim Acosta says this is unfair because the Double Deuce doesn't have cameras, so no one can see Jim Acosta. Someone should probably explain to Jim Acosta that no one can see him anyway because he's on CNN. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.